What's going on, everybody? Hope you're all having a fantastic day today. Now, ladies and gentlemen, today is an absolutely massive day. As you all probably already know, everybody who had access to the closed beta for Xdefiant a little earlier on has access once again today. And you guys already know this as well. The open beta for everybody across the board is going to be open tomorrow. So yes, it's finally time, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to be grinding the living heck out of Xdefiant. But of course, the day before this has happened, Mark Rubin put out a really good tweet that honestly, to me personally, shows why each and every one of us should get the heck away from Call of Duty and move over to this game. Even if it's going to take a little bit of learning to adjust, I just think that your time will be so much more well spent on this title than, with Call of Duty, where the developers don't even listen to any of your feedback at all. But of course, ladies and gentlemen, before we go ahead and dive deep into this topic, we are indeed on the grind to 50,000 subscribers, and surprising enough, we just got another 300, actually, I think it's 400 plus subscribers in like less than 3 days. That is insane. You guys have been going absolutely crazy. Of course, thank you to everybody who subscribed. I hope you guys continuously enjoy the content. And for everybody who's new, if you guys do want to be updated about Xdefiant for the rest of the week, about, improvements and stuff of that sort, and also if you want to hear rants about Battlefield, Call of Duty, I do all different types of stuff as well, then don't forget to go ahead and subscribe and hit that bell notification button. And last but not least, we will be streaming Xdefiant today. So if you guys want a little, sneak peek to what's going on behind the scenes with Xdefiant before I actually get content out on the channel, go ahead, check out the stream. I'm going to be over on Kick today, starting at around 12 to 12:30 p.m. Eastern Time. The links to all my stuff are down in the description of this video. All right, ladies and gentlemen, now over on Twitter, Mark Rubin put out a tweet, obviously saying, Xdefiant is a love letter to the arcade arena shooter. Is it a Call of Duty killer? I have no idea. We're just trying to make a game that people can love for a long time. But it's up to all of you, the players, to make Xdefiant a success. Just wanted to share that thought. Now, obviously, Mark Rubin, he is not trying to intentionally strip people from Call of Duty. I mean, he obviously states right here that, you don't even want to touch upon if it's a Call of Duty killer. But I am here to tell you right now that it might not be a Call of Duty killer, because Call of Duty is a very, 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 very popular game. We have to be real here, guys. People just buy it just to buy it at this point, even if it's just for the campaign. So it's always going to sell insane numbers. It's always going to be insane. But when it comes to the hardcore Call of Duty community, the people who actually really enjoy the game for what it is, have been playing multiplayer forever, this game is going to help you feel like you are a part of a community again. Feel like, arena shooters are a thing again. Because we haven't had any, polished off AAA arena shooters. That's what I'm going to say. Because we have had arena shooters, but usually they're either, indie developed or something. And there's nothing wrong with that. Some of my favorite games are indie games, like Insurgency Sandstorm, for example. Squad, I have a lot of favorite, indie developed games. Nothing wrong with that. But when it comes to a well-polished off, AAA arcade shooter, do we have any really? Not realistically. Xdefiant is that game. It is, something that can easily be played by a Call of Duty fan. And we all acknowledge that Activision is the only thing that can kill COD, but at least we have somewhere else to go while the process is going on, right? I do want to say it is kind of funny that, Mark Rubin chose these words at the beginning because, we've all heard it before, saying Xdefiant is a love letter to the arcade arena shooter. If you're a Battlefield fan, you remember Battlefield 2042, that Portal was supposed to be a love letter. Oh, that would make you skeptical if this game was never played before. But thankfully, we have all had at least a little decent experience with this game. And if you haven't just yet, of course, like I said, the open beta starts tomorrow. But being able to back it up with gameplay, yes, I can agree that this is a love letter to the arcade arena shooter fans, 1010%. This is going to be the game that can hopefully allow us to have fun and feel, once again, like I said earlier, a part of a community, feel loved. Call of Duty has been abusing their fan base year after year after year to the point where multiplayer isn't even, a priority at this point. It never releases with any content. The content is always half remasters, so you never really get any new content in the game. All the game decisions and, things down to the core of the arena shooter style is completely wrecked at the moment because the game has so many places to be. Warzone, DMZ, it's all over the board. Ground War, and not even traditional Ground War from back in the day where it's like, Vanguard, where you had combat pacing. That's more traditional Ground War. No, we're talking about a whole different experience with all different style maps, and all of these things have to be designed. You can't just make multiplayer 6v6 and then transfer all of that across the board. It doesn't work that way. They all have to be, really worked on. So guess what happens to multiplayer? It gets a slither of, support. Over on Xdefiant, it's the other way around. This is an arcade arena shooter. That is Xdefiant's identity. They're not making it a BR. They're not making it an extraction shooter. If this game fails, it's because people don't want to play arena shooters anymore. But at the end of the day, that's not the case. People do want arena shooters. They do want a fun arcade game to play, which, again, as long as they keep doing what they're doing, as long as they keep the communication coming, that they keep coming, I don't see any problems in the near future, ladies and gentlemen. You try to go ahead and address anything with any of the Call of Duty developers about their game. You are instantly, obviously greeted with bans, ignores, screw your opinion. It's irrelevant, we don't care about what you have to say. And we all say that, Sledgehammer is better or Treyarch is better. Infinity War is the worst. Obviously, Infinity War is the worst, which is really hurtful because I do enjoy Infinity War, but they're a whole, it's long gone at this point. It's sad to say. But they all have that ego, I guess. And I don't know if it's because Activision doesn't allow them to speak or allow them to do anything to multiplayer or allow them to take community feedback. But at the end of the day, there's other games that will. Even Battlefield, and that's not Xdefiant, obviously, but even they are, taking community feedback and trying to work around their game. It's a whole different experience to feel like you are a part of something. Even if that process isn't as smooth as people would want it to be, it's still welcome. The community's communication with DICE right now for Battlefield 2042 is a whole different story compared to what it was day one. It's still not completely the best because, of course, they still do some pretty weird stuff. But, day one, goodness gracious, you remember how toxic that was. Even my channel. I hated how it was day one. They got a lot of crap from me. But now it really does feel like a different vibe. And Xdefiant, they don't have to start differently and then work their way to that point where you have good communication with your... No, they started off day one with that communication. We've already felt like we were a part of the process before the game even launched. It's amazing. It really is. And I hope that this continues because if it does, that is what will keep this game pumping along. It really will. I promise you. Without the communication, the game is still fun. I could still see the game getting, some love and some attention. But will it pop off? I don't really think so. What's really going to help it pop off is the communication between the developers and their community. That is what will help this game pop off. And that is what I'm so ridiculously excited to see how it goes. But ladies and gentlemen, I hope you all at least give this game a partial shot. I know it's not Call of Duty, and I don't expect you to, think it's Call of Duty, because it really is not. It gives you similar vibes, but it's its own game. It has its own identity. But at the end of the day, it's completely free to play, and it's not a closed beta anymore. It's completely open. Sadly, again, I have to state it, last gen is not going to be able to get into this one. Sad. I don't know why it changed up. I'm assuming because they want to make sure they can focus on making sure it's all polished off instead of balancing across so many platforms. But don't worry, because the official release of the game will be on last gen as well. But seriously, you have all the opportunities in the world to go ahead and give it a shot. Unless, of course, maybe you're away, you're on vacation, you'll have work, so on and so forth. I understand. But even if you could get 10, 20 minutes aside just to give it a match or two, I think it will be worthy to see if it will be worth your time later on. And trust me, just simply the communication, it will make you feel like you're at home when it comes to, finally, an arcade arena shooter. But ladies and gentlemen, do me a massive favor. Make sure to go down in the comment section and leave your opinions about what you think of Xdefiant so far. Were you able to play the closed beta, or is this going to be your first shot when it comes to the open beta? And also let me know, what is your main focus for this overall title? Right now, for me personally, I really want to see how the netcode is. I want to know if they upgraded it, first and foremost, and I want to know if it's going to make any improvements, because the netcode was really, 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 really bad in the closed beta, which is okay because they stated it ahead of time, and they said that they were working on another one. I just hope that the new one is the one that we're going to get in this beta. But of course, like I said, leave all of your stuff down in the comment section below. But ladies and gentlemen, thanks so much for checking out this video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to leave a like. But once I hate it, leave a dislike. Also, if you're brand new, enjoy the content, subscribe to the notification button. Also, want to chat with me, this is the way to do so. I have Twitter and Discord, both linked down in the description. And also want to catch me live streams of video games over on Twitch. Link that's in the description as well. Guys, thanks so much for tuning in. See you on the next one. Peace out.